Okay, so I'm doing this for the first time. Just going at it, starting it, and diving in. But I am making some major changes in my life right now. I I've decided to get off of Instagram and do like a cold, just a silent exit. Not announcing, not doing it for like with any timeline or whatever. I feel like I'm actually just departing from it. And I'm talking about my personal one. I may still participate in my business one and maybe a side project one as well. But I I want to start vlogging. I want to start doing creating again. And I'm just I'm ready to make a shift in my life. I've got a lot of things that I can document and that I can work on and that I can create for a YouTube audience. And I want to build an audience. I'm tired of using my personal Instagram subtly for validation. I wouldn't say that's the intent of why I use it, but what keeps me coming back to it is this weird desire to impress people from college and high school. And it's subtle. It's not like on the surface that's what my goals are, but underneath it's like you start to really recognize that's what you're doing. And it's preventing my growth, and it's preventing my ability to connect with an audience that resonates with my true message and what I'm trying to share. So I thought, why not do that? And I have a couple other habits that I'm breaking and implementing simultaneously. But I'm taking the leap. I'm taking the leap to make all of it happen. It's a whole paradigm shift that I'm doing. It's not just a habit change. Because the thing about habits is, or I guess I should say the thing about lifestyle is you gotta do it all the time for it to be a lifestyle. I do a lot of habits that maybe stick for a month or a week or half of a year, but they come and go. And I recognize that when I'm doing things like, and if I'm being completely honest, if I'm doing things like smoking weed, cannabis, and Instagram pretty heavily, I'm not doing the other things that benefit my life, like meditation, Wim Hof breathing techniques, focusing on my hobbies, rollerblading, skateboarding, longboarding, and focusing on like a creative endeavor too. So I used to be into photography, I used to be into drawing. This time around, I want to get into vlogging or video creation. And yeah, I'm ready to take the leap and see where it goes. And I think the best thing for me to do to make that happen was to start more along the lines of the creative path. The best thing that I could do was take myself off Instagram. I don't know if it's like a common awareness or what, if it's something I just realized. Pretty sure in all the books on habits that I've read, if you want to get rid of a habit, you should replace it with something else. And that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. I recognized that I wasn't taking the action steps on video and on creating video content and creating YouTube content, but I was spending gobs of hours on Instagram doing what? Scrolling, looking at stuff. Sometimes I post on my story, but again, just for validation, just so I can see who's paying attention to my story, to my life. But I just started realizing, I'm like, man, 2016 was a year that I quantum leaped. I took action, and I went from being a not very creative person. Okay, I was always creative, but I wasn't a photographer before 2016, and then I just grabbed a camera and I started taking photos, and I improved and I got good, and that phased out. And I've been reflecting lately. I'm like, I want to do that again. I want to make that change again. And what did I do then? I I wouldn't say I deleted Instagram, but I stopped caring about Instagram. And I think I want to do that again. I know that's what's best for me right now. Everything that I'm getting validated with it too. Like, I texted one of my friends, I was like, wow, you haven't been on Instagram in a while. And she goes, that's why I got rid of it. I'm loving life. And I'm connecting with my real friends in the real world now. Because when you're on Instagram, you feel connected to people because they're looking at your stuff or you're looking at their stuff. But then next thing you know, you go a year and it's like you feel like you've been connected with some of these friends, but have you really been in contact with them? Maybe you send a meme here or there, maybe you comment on something, but and you feel like you're seeing what's going on in their life. But only at like a handful, like 5 to 10 maybe, do I text and call on a personal basis, on a regular basis, personally, and talk about our lives and talk about our situation. And, you know, I kind of realized, I'm like, and it hit me too with my siblings, where I realized that my brother and my situation deteriorated a little bit because of social media. We have different political beliefs, so because of social media and because I was going out with one intent and he was going out with another intent, those intents created intensity. It created conflict. And it's like we live at a distance and we stop talking to each other, and it's almost like you focus on all the negative things, or like where you have differences. And because that's what social media does, especially in the last political season climate. And then we got together over the Christmas season, and then we just got together over the past weekend. And both of those times, like, we never talked politics, and we just enjoyed ourselves, and we met in our common ground area. And that's what I want to do a better job at, but I also am recognizing the toxicity of social media, of Instagram. Twitter's kind of bleeding into Instagram now. I felt like, honestly, back in 2016, 2017, I felt like I was the only one putting socio-political topics out there, social political topics. Now, literally everyone's putting them out there. And it's creating a kind of a toxic environment. But the point that I'm getting at is I want to enjoy life again. And I do enjoy life in my individual sense. Like, I'm a very independent person. I have my business, and I have hobbies that I do that are more individualist hobbies: skateboarding, longboarding, rollerblading. But I moved to Grand Rapids about 3 months ago from my hometown, and I've spent a lot of time indoors. I've spent a lot of time by myself or with my roommates, and I'm wanting to, I don't know, live life more, get out of my comfort zone again. And I want to return back to 2016 energy, because 2016 I went from like one person to the next. I evolved. I allowed myself to change and to evolve. And I think detaching from social media allows, especially with the eyes of everyone else, it allows you to detach from what you think of yourself as. So how I view myself, I open up to changing that when you get off of social media. That's why in 2016 I switched from posting pictures of myself to posting landscape photography, because it was easier to hide my identity. It was easier to turn it into art rather than like, hey, look what I'm doing. But since I've started my business, it's become a lot more of, hey, let me market myself. Hey, let me tell you what I'm doing. And next thing you know, it became a lifestyle. And I didn't really realize how addicted I was to Instagram until I would download and delete and download and delete and download the app over and over and over again, till I really realized, I'm like, all right, this has got to change. That's where I'm at right now. And there's other habits in my life that are like that I'm also taking the steps to improve on. And I mentioned one of them, which was cannabis. Cannabis is one of those things where it doesn't deteriorate my life, but it slowly puts you into a state that you don't want to be in. Because it's like, yeah, of course I can smoke and it's not going to ruin my life, but I may stay in. I may not go out more. I may not socialize. I may get in my head. I may not work one night. And next thing you know, you get into a rut. It's like, I'm tired of going through that cycle. And I realize that the cycles will continue over and over and over again unless I change something. And I'm just ready to make that change because it's tiring. I'm also watching my life kind of go by pretty quick, and whether that's cannabis or not, I think it's just your mid-20s, you start to really recognize, like, holy shit, I have friends that are engaged, I have friends that are married, and I have friends that have kids. And that is, I think everyone in their mid to late 20s hit that stage of like, all right, like, I'm not a kid anymore, and I'm not a college student anymore either. And next thing you know, 3 more years will pass, and then I'm in my 30s. Or I'm not there, but you get what I'm saying. I'll be 29. But it's still one of those things that's hitting me, is how fast time's starting to move. And I have a lot of things that I want to do with my life. At least I know what I want to do. Now I have to get out of my comfort zone and start doing those things. So yeah, I'm making this channel, and I'm making this initial video, and I probably have other videos on this. I may hide them, but this feels like the actual start. I've probably said that a million times, but I have a lot of things that I can document, I can film, and I think it'll just be a lifestyle vlog to start until I figure out what niche I want to stick with. I have a lot of different things I could talk about. The 3 main things I want to just focus on, and they're pretty universal. It's business, personal development, and then spirituality. I've got quite a bit of wisdom in all 3 of those for my age. Obviously, I'm still in my 20s. I don't have all the answers, but started my own business. I've had opportunities in a handful of other businesses, and I've studied a handful of religions, and I've tapped into knowledge and wisdom that a tiny portion of people will ever explore into, which I feel grateful to even be exposed to that. And then personal development, ever since 2016, it's just been a lifestyle. That's something that'll never change, is my desire to accept myself for where I'm at, but also improve if it's something I so desire. Personal improvement can get toxic too, but I've been there, and I recognize it's a balance, it's a middle ground. You should always be improving yourself, but you shouldn't be beating yourself up and never be satisfied. You should learn to be satisfied with results that you make. It's about the journey. Journey, not destination. But yeah, I think over time, as I start to do this more, I'll have a little more structure. I'll have more improvements on editing and everything. What it is that I want it to become. I think the best thing that I can do is just form the lifestyle around it. I need to build the paradigm that I'm creating a YouTube channel. I would say that I'm an Instagrammer. I've been an Instagrammer for a while, and I've always wanted to be a YouTuber. And I just am getting all the signs to get past Instagram, because there's something about being tied to your peers from college and from high school, especially high school, and because that includes elementary and youth and all that stuff. And there's some weird stuff that happens in your 20s where everyone's trying to validate what they're doing. I've been there. I still do it. but it's like you're trying to show to the people that you grew up with, like, look what I became. And I had that moment. I've had great things come my way. So I went from almost being I wouldn't say unknown, but like nobody really was paying attention to what I was doing. And then I came out with not only the business, but what my business has accomplished. And it was like great getting that validation, but like then it's like you're always gonna be seeking more clout, more attention. And the more that things started going our way in the business, the more I wanted to post about it. I'm like, it's just not, I'm growing up and I'm kind of getting past that shit. So anywho, I wanted to put this out there, and this is what we're working with. This is what we're starting with. Probably a handful of other videos, but this is like it's silly because I've probably said that 4 or 5 times, and I want to break that habit. I want to break that where I say, this is the start of the journey. This is where we begin. But there's like 3 other videos that say that. So I think I'm just gonna do my best and just keep posting content until I figure things out. That's what Mr. Beast did. He just made random shit and just started posting it. And I'm not trying to be like Mr. Beast. I'm not. That's not the kind of hype stuff that I'm talking about. But I think I have a lot of knowledge that people could learn from. So sweet. I'll try to smile more. I'll try to become a little more YouTuber for everyone. But right now there's a lot of weird shit that's happening in my life right now. So, but what better time than now to take that leap when a lot of changes are happening. So, and I kind of just want to do it for documentation. Look back at how my life was in 2021. And who knows where else this will go to. I feel like this is my calling in some way. I feel drawn in this direction. But I'll leave it at that. Hopping off. I'm gonna get better with this shit with time. Like I'm not, even on Instagram, like I don't speak much. I'm not one of those YouTubers like, hey everyone, like here I am. Like I'm still getting used to that shit. I would do most of my stuff writing wise. But yeah, I'll also work on lighting too, because that lighting's real nice. But anywho, signing off. I'll see you next time. Peace.